I tap in with Let's Yap About It podcast, man. The real dynamic.
He tuned in to Let's Yap About It. Even though I don't talk, but he got something to say. Stuck emotions out now.
Tune in to Let's Yap About It. This ain't no podcast. It's a problem cast. I go out of Fairfield, Texas, very own. Hey, man, tell your baby mama I'm looking for her. Tell your wife I'm looking for her. That's what it is, man. Let's Yap About It, man. This ain't no podcast. It's a problem cast. Fat motherfucker pimp. Let's go, man.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Let's Yap About It. Let's Yap About It. Yap About It podcast. Starring Raw Bass. Let's Yap About It. Yeah. Let's Yap About It. Let's Yap About It. Let's Yap. Let go. Let's Yap About It. We in the mix. Fit Too Savage. Let's Yap About It. Stop by for a visit. Content was so living. Had to pray for all of my children. Now the whole world be listening. Talk to niggas from prison. Spoke how they was living. How the COs be tripping. Rappers losing on the back end because promoter dudes keep dipping. Seen the show when the dude started out of bloods, then start cripping. Stripper niggas stop tipping. Out of game niggas stop flipping. Bad attitude, so he had to move just to keep his ass out of prison. Seen a show by the young hoe. Fucked on a sister, man, no apology. Let's yap about it. If the bitch come around me, shit, she can holler at me. Check my Instagram, she was following me. Cause she knew I be where them dollars be. Rapid funds, but I keep it going. I fuck you up, no apologies. Fit Too Savage. Savage like music.
What's up with it? What's up with it, man? You already know who it is. It's your boy Rob the Prob, aka Rob, that's gonna give it to you whether you want to hear it or not, man. We back at it again, man. I just want to send a special salute and a special shout out to everybody for joining me tonight, man. I appreciate y'all. It's been a long time. If you can, just let me know that you can see me. Let me know that you can hear me in the chat. Definitely give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Just let me know that you guys can hear me. It's been a while. It's been a while, and I'm glad to be back. A lot of people have asked me about chiming in on a lot of the subjects that's been going on in the news. Um, I used to be heavily involved into a lot of things, and one of the things that we're gonna get into tonight um, is about politics. I took a hiatus back from that. I really don't get into it like that anymore. Um, but we definitely gonna dig in. We're gonna go across the board on both sides of the spectrum. Um, One of the subjects is tonight Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris. Who will win the 2024 election? Everybody's got their opinions. Everybody's in up in arms, and there's a lot of things that's going on that has this country divided at this point right now. We also gonna cover YBCdul. He dug up the grave of his enemies, and he ends up getting shot and killed. Is dying in disrespect better than dying in honor? And we're going to talk about that tonight. And then we're going to also go over this too as well. I'm just giving you a couple of the subjects. DaniLeigh arrested for DUI, not the first time, but the second time. Yeah, is her career over at this point? And I also want to chime in on the dangers of delusion and where it places you. We actually going to let you hear the video, what was going on in that situation, and you can chime in. And by all means, if you want to chime in, the link is going to be in the chat. So if you definitely want to speak, by all means, you can go in there and speak your piece. Give whatever that you want to talk about. Drop a comment or whatever. The floor is going to be yours at this point tonight. I'm probably a little rusty, but I'm gonna get through the show. But I definitely want to chime in on some things because people have been asking me. But I also want to chime in on this too as well. Um, Legendary Houston rapper Beatking dies at age 39. We paid tribute to a Houston music legend tonight, and we also want to dive into the Young Thug and YSL Rico's trial. Is it a sham at this point? That's what I want to say. It's a sham to me at this point. Has this case become a joke at this point? Because there's so much going on. There's so much celebrity being pushed up out of this, and such a narrative that's being placed. We're gonna dive into that tonight as well. And last but not least, I'm going to chime in on this one because I feel like this needs to be talked about. Sauce Walka made controversial statements about Drake. Sauce Walka addresses the so-called love Drake has for the city here in Houston, but calls it into question the lack of artists that Drake hasn't worked with within the city. We're going to definitely chime in on that. But I want to chime in on the down. But first, without further ado, we definitely want to chime in. So, um, without further ado, man, you already know what I do behind this microphone. So, welcome to the Let's Yap About It podcast, the only tangible podcast for the people, where you will hear it raw and live and direct and full effect first for you, the people. I'm Robert Higgins, aka Yap the Podcast, the hood voice of reason, your host for tonight's broadcast, and we welcome you to the best broadcast in media. Definitely, we be back. We not playing this time around. I want to weigh in on the Donald Trump versus Kamala. But before I say anything, don't let this election divide. And when I say divide us to the point where we don't have a voice or reason on both sides. We can understand that there's good Democrats on one side and bad Democrats on one side. You got good Republicans on one side and bad Republicans on one side. But the focus point should be making this nation great. And at this point of where we are now, this country is so divided with so many ideologies and so many things that have kept us distracted from us being able to come together at one point. I think that we need to sit down, take a calm, and take a moment of peace at this point and hear both sides, as opposed to we thinking that this is that and this is the other. No, let's get the actual factuals. And don't let this election divide your families. There are everybody that has their own beliefs, their own beliefs in this political system, because it's made up of not just two parties, by the way. It's made up of three parties. You know what I'm saying? The independent, which nobody really talks about. It's either on the left side or the right side. You either conservative or liberal. But at the end of the day, that should not make you have a true hatred for a person or to disrespect a side or a political party just because of your beliefs. Everybody's beliefs should be respected across the board. And I think that this where we are in this country, we do need great leadership. And when I say great leadership, to lead us into a place of where we can all be comfortable. Everybody in this country doesn't want to be wealthy. Everybody in this country don't want to be in the top 1%. Some people prefer to be in the top 10%, top 20%, as a matter of fact. And most of the times, and where we are in this country, we can see that inflation is up. We can see that all kinds of things have been pushed on our society that we're not comfortable with, that they want us to socially accept. Now, whoever that you choose in your political party, that is really truly your business. You do not have to speak. And I'm going to repeat myself. You do not have to speak on whatever political affiliation you have. You don't. And if anybody that tells you that they force your hand is absolutely nonsense. You have a right to vote for whoever you want to vote for. You have a right to stand with whatever political party you want to stand with, and rightfully so, because you have choices in this country. However, it should not be to the point where we're fist fighting, getting disrespectful, cursing each other out behind political views. I believe in this system. The needs of the few don't outweigh the needs of the many. The problems of the few don't outweigh the needs of the many. And many people in this country need a foundation of understanding, especially with everybody coming over here and being granted the opportunity, while the people that actually make this country function are falling behind on their bills, falling behind in their savings, falling behind, not being able to catch themselves in a comfortable position to retire. That's where we are in this country. And I think that we should start taking a closer look at how we function as a whole. Because a lot of times we can have that political affiliation with either or party, and then it can spill over to where we just want to win something. It ain't actually going in depth onto what we want to see change. And let's be honest, half of the people don't even know how politics function. Can we be honest? We have never seen this country. We have never seen so much pandering on both sides, right? So much pandering on both sides, to the point where you're bringing in rappers at this political point right now. As important as we have it in this country right now, as far as the national divide that we have, as far as the economic decline that we've had in this country, we're now bringing rappers in to basically ooze and soothe the people on either side of the spectrum to make us feel comfortable with for voting for them. My actions is where's the tangible evidence? And let me tell you something, anytime that they're making propositions and proposals and saying that they're going to grant all this type of legislation and it doesn't come to fruition, you know what that makes them? That makes them liars. Anytime that somebody does not come through for you, will there be a political excuse or will there be a political truth? Because at the end of the day, we want honesty in this country. We want to restore our foundation back to the integrity. And there should not be a divide between men and women just for the sake of voting for Trump, just because she's a woman, or vice versa of a woman. Now you just want to be on this side because she's a woman and you should just vote for her just because of that reason. No, we should actually sit down, compare legislation and different things that they want to do for this country, and what are the lasting term effects of it after. That's what we need to be looking at. So when you get ready to vote this year, whoever you choose to vote for, just make sure that they're standing not just for your side, but it actually reaps the benefits on the other side too. Remember, I told you this. The problems of the few don't outweigh the needs of the many. And this country needs leadership. This country needs a person to navigate to where the money is coming in and it's not going out. What is the use of us actually making this country function when billions of dollars are going everywhere else? And these people right here in this country that are functioning, that are barely surviving, need billions and billions of dollars here in this country. I asked you, don't just look at this as a Democratic and Republican thing, but look at it as a national thing. Look at your local people that are in your state, your city. Make sure that you go into them directly, your city hall meetings. Make sure that you're there, not just at the polls. Make sure that you're putting your political dollars where your mouth is. Because if you don't understand lobbying, then you'll never understand politics. You got to understand that you have to put money behind things. You have to make sure that you understand that the most important thing in your community is you. You create the circumstances. You can create the opportunities, because there's a generation coming behind you And you don't want them to remind you that you failed them if you do not do your due diligence of doing this. And John Kennedy said this a long time ago, and y'all didn't catch that. He said, it ain't about what your country can do for you. It's about what you can do for your country. And if you're not actually putting in the work, and you're not putting in the energy, and you putting in the effort, and you actually educating those in politics, then what's the use of it? Because at the end of the day, everybody must be educated on politics and how legislation works, how the executive, the judicial, and the legislative branches work. You got to understand how this stuff works. If you don't understand it, then you just basically just going in because it's a trendy thing. Nah, you should take your political views serious. And in order to be taken serious, you must first be serious about yourself and how you move and how you talk and how you walk and how you spend your money and how you spend your dollar and where you spend your dollar. So don't let no rapper tell you who to vote for. Don't let no famous people tell you who to vote for. It ain't about them and what they telling you to make you feel good. This ain't a feel good moment or a feel good sermon. Nah, we got lives at stake here. We got economic value within our own next generations to come at stake. And this ain't to be played with. It's not to be made a mockery of. And if anybody's serving you rappers or famous people on both sides, then what's the purpose? Because they're not teaching you nothing. They're not showing you anything. They just actually just putting on a political circus at the end of the day with no tangible evidence of improving this country whatsoever. We shouldn't rank low in healthcare. We shouldn't rank low in education. We shouldn't rank low in economics when we can actually see China, actually this be specific because I want to get down to the roots of it. When Asia is creating millionaires faster than America is. Let that sink in for a moment. So when you sit there and you actually want to try to create a divide, now this country needs to come together just as much as the Republicans on the Democratic side and the Democratic side on the Republican side. Don't just vote because she's black, and just don't vote because she's a woman either. Look into the political views, look and understand these things, because these things are going to shake up not just you, but it's going to shake off your offspring. So y'all think about that. Shout out to those, man. Shout out to both candidates, whoever you choose to vote for. Salute to them both, Kamala Harris and Trump, man. And if you want to weigh in, I told you, comment in the thing, and let me know that you can hear me as well. If you want to chime in, I can bring you up as a guest, no problem. We can talk politics. I'm all here for it. Like I told you, I took a step back years ago from it. Been studying and doing a lot of other things and working hard to build my legacy. So, but if y'all want to talk, by all means, man, I'm up here. We're available. But I also wanted to talk about this, and I want to talk to the young bloods too about this. YBCdul digs up graves of enemies and gets shot and killed. Is dying in disrespect better than dying in honor? Because where we at right now, when I seen that video, I looked at that and it just really blew my mind because of how far we can go as far as disrespect. We've become a culture of disrespect. We've become a culture of going out of our way. And I had a conversation with somebody and I said, it's different when you have an issue with somebody, but to get to them to where you want to unalive them, that's a whole nother level. There's nobody on this planet that I've ever wanted to unalive to the point where I'm talking about where it just got all the way blatantly disrespectful. You can have your views on both sides. You can have issues. That's a part of life. But to the point of where you're going right here, you're going out of your way to disrespect. You're just inviting the negativity and energy on your life. And here's the thing. His father tried to come out and save face for a situation that was inevitable. That was totally disrespectful. That was totally disrespectful. Me as a father would never, ever, ever allow a type of disrespect of allowing my son to go dig up a grave of somebody that he had an issue with. No, we would have had an issue. We would have had a personal issue to where it would have been hands laid. Trust me. And if any father cares for their sons, that was his bloodline. That was his legacy. And it was blown and it was taken away. in a disrespectful manner. And his father allowed that. As a father, you're supposed to be able to give your life for your children. You're supposed to be able to give your life and your well-being to make your child understand what they're doing, how they're doing it. Totally disrespectful, man. And at this point, this is just one example. But can we get a better example of knowing how to settle our differences? See, one thing I understand about death is people grieve. People get upset. People get angry. But the one thing that I understand about it is if you've done something to somebody's brother, somebody's sister, somebody's mother, somebody's father, somebody's cousin, somebody's aunt, uncle, grandmother, grandfather, great grandmother, grandfather, especially harming them, they are going to take issue with that. But when you go out of your way to dig up a grave that is supposed to be made in peace and you desecrate and you disrespect, you only asking for you to end your life. You're only asking to end your life in a horrific way. And I'm telling you, as an OG, 40 years old in the game, definitely in the making, 40 years old, listen, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I'm telling you right now, it is not worth it. I'm telling you, any young man that got an issue or got beef, man, I'm really trying to give you some game. Man, it's best to go ahead and stay out the way. Sometimes it's cool to just let shit fly. Your manhood is not on the line because you haven't lived your life yet. That young man didn't even get a chance to even grow, to even have his children to see a reflection of him in the adult stages of his life. That's real shit, man. And I'm not trying to sound like I'm not trying to preach, because this ain't preaching. This is just real life shit that goes on in every neighborhood. And shout out to everybody from Philadelphia, man. I love y'all, man. You already know I got some ties out there in Philly. And I'm challenging everybody, man. Oskino, you know what I'm saying? One of my favorite artists. Freeway, one of my favorite artists. Beanie Siegel, you know what I'm saying? Petey, the whole State Prop family, man. I hope that you can actually just start grabbing these youngsters. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to King Erner too, man, that actually puts in the work. He's out there in the heart of Philadelphia doing his thing, man. And I have to say this because we don't have no OGs telling these kids not to do. They're allowing them to do just because they want to borrow some money from them or they want to just be cool and be in the mix, man. As an OG, you're supposed to stand apart. As an adult, you're supposed to stand apart from the kids to be able to lead them in the right direction. And where we leading to right now is to an early grave. I hope you understand that. Let this be an example of being disrespectful to somebody. Man, please, I'm asking you, take the time, get your mind right, be able to situate yourself and put yourself in the best position possible, man. Shout out to, everybody from Philly, man. And I just had to weigh in on that, bro, because that really disturbed my spirit, because there was nobody in that community or nobody in that neighborhood to stop them. That says a lot about our community and how it's evolving. Is it evolving for the good or is it evolving for the worse? And I challenge anybody. I'm dead ass serious. I'm challenging a lot of the fathers who may just be fathers, not just to one kid, but the ones that actually see you being a father in your everyday comings and goings, dropping them off to school. Man, please grab these youngsters by the side and have a conversation with them and offer them new ways to win. Just don't tell them that what they're doing is a sin. Offer them young cats new ways to win, man. Shout out to them, man, for real. I want to actually chime in on this one too. DaniLeigh arrested for DUI not once but twice. And I asked that question: is her career over at this point? And the reason why I'm saying this is because look at the situation in itself. This ain't her first DUI. This is a second DUI. But I also want to get into where she has actually just been consistently in the news and in the media for the negative. I want y'all to take a look at this, and I want to show y'all something on this second part that you see at the bottom, the dangers of delusion and where it places you. I'm just gonna run this, man, and y'all let me know what y'all think, man, for real.
What am I getting arrested for?
Maybe for hitting a child.
I didn't hit nobody.
Oh, it's on camera,
At
so.
this point, you're being under arrest for two things: fleeing the scene of an accident and for being under the influence while driving.
I'm not under the influence. I just passed all of your tests. I didn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't
And
under
you fled
the
the scene of an
influence.
accident and you caused major injury to a person.
Yeah, to a child. Not a person. Not a
Now
child.
that's what it is.
Don Julio.
I didn't hit nobody.
We have cameras.
Can I see the cameras because I didn't hit
No,
nobody?
you're gonna get arrested, alright? That's point blank. You're
Arrested
good.
for what?
For DUI and for hitting somebody and hitting
I'm
the
not under
scene.
the influence. I just passed all the time.
You know what she told him though? She said, "Oh, we're a celebrity." That's what the fuck.
No, don't.
Go over there.
We're doing an investigation.
Or go over there. Yo. No. You can go over there. Come over right now.
Yeah, that's Quavo, the Migos. Those are my boys. Love, I'm an artist.
I know. Okay.
I'm a singer.
No, you're gonna. No what?
I'm a singer.
Okay.
I'm an R&B singer. You
Okay.
can't arrest me.
Doesn't mean anything.
As you can see, this ain't our first rodeo. This is a second rodeo. At this point, I'm gonna say this. What's next? The first DUI, she got probation, 5 years. Now she's at the point where she hit somebody. What's next? How many chances do you think that a person should have when they're making the same mistake? Not once, but twice. Now you didn't hit a kid. This is what I'm talking about. And I want to say this. And at this point, I think if she does have any career to salvage at this point, I think that she should actually go get some help. And when I say go get some help respectfully, because she's not in a position to not care for herself in such a way to make sound decisions. Sound decisions to the point where it is affecting not just herself, but everybody else around her. And Don Julio 1942 in the car during the DUI stop says everything that it needs to say, that you need to go get help and go get some counseling and some therapy as well. Because now, with you having custody of your child and different things like that, how does that play in your life and the importance of you raising your child? That's my question. This is the baby's child's mother. And I think that at this point that there should be a conversation to be had. There's a point in time where you got to have a come to Jesus meeting. And then who's to say if she could have killed somebody at this point? This is what I'm talking about. And see, she thought that her celebrity status, which was granted, and I'm pretty sure they played a role in her getting a second chance. Of course, we all make mistakes. Yes, but there are a lot of people that ain't afforded them second chances either. What you got to understand is you only get one shot in life. One, maybe two if you're lucky. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not Robert Downey Jr. Everybody doesn't get that second chance. And you're in a position to do something great and do something good, and you put yourself in a bad position like this. We've seen countless celebrities of our own culture fuck up continuously. And when I say it spiral, go down in a downward spiral to where they don't never recover. And in this situation, what does that say about you as a parent? What does this say about you, not even considering the safety of not just yourself, but others on the road, but you end up hitting a kid in the process? Come on, man. We got to start making better decisions. And this is what I'm saying. By you being in a situation to where not only you're a celebrity, you looked at as a nice looking person, but then there's the dangers of the delusion of where it places you. Because the first thing when she said, "Oh, you can't arrest me, I'm a singer," what the fuck does that mean? That's a person that ain't got a grip on reality. And see, that's where we are in our society. A lot of motherfuckers think that their emotions trump reality. Nah. And you can get mad about it all you want, but nah, it don't work like that. There are too many people that have made simple, tiny mistakes and end up having it cost them big. Nah, it don't work like that. Let me tell you something. If I get one shot and one opportunity at growing my podcast and we actually go nationwide, which I'm expecting it to go nationwide, man, I'm not finna play around like that. I'm not finna put myself in any type of room or any situation or in uncompromisable position for me to lose my position. That's common sense. It's a lot of people that have had chances and they done fucked them up completely, and now they mad at the world. Here you are, you did not have one chance, but set two chances, and now look at where you at, right back to square one again, and guaranteed to face that same judge. Now at this point, your chances have run out. As we've seen a lot of our actual celebrities that are young, that are in the positions to change lives and put others in positions of power, they fucking it up. And I'm just being honest about the situation. The Blueface situation, the Christian Rock situation, DaniLeigh situation. Come on. How many times does this have to happen and wait for us to wake the fuck up to understand that we only afforded one shot and one opportunity and we can't squander it? That's all I'm saying. And it doesn't even have to be in a celebrity position. It could actually be to where you can better your life at a better job opportunity, where you were making 30,000 and 40,000 and making and complaining about making 40,000. Now you got a chance to make six figures. Now you've got a chance to make 90,000, and now you putting yourself in a bad position. Come on, man. Got to make better decisions. And the reason why I say the dangers of delusion and where it places you, you can be in a position of where you think you are, but the reality you're not there. What you got to understand is that Chris Rock, not Chris Rock, I'm sorry. Michael J said something that was profound about people respecting power. When you're in those type of positions, you have to understand that you're being watched all the time in every situation. And I ain't saying from a celebrity status. I'm talking about really from a regular position. When you start climbing that ladder of success, people are putting a watchful eye on you. And especially if you're a public figure, they waiting for you to fuck up so that they can have a story and a scoop and a storyline to put you on the front page. They waiting. They can already tell your behavior when you walk in them to do those negotiated deals. They already can tell that you're a fuck up. They can already tell that they'll be able to do whatever that they need to do and push you aside, but to bring somebody else in because they know that you're a waste of a talent, especially when it comes to doing business. You can be a wasted moment of talent that could actually create something. And I'm talking about the same position of where you started, just like a simple Tyler Perry or somebody. And I'm just naming them just because of look where they did. They took their shot and they placed themselves in a position of power. And that's what the fuck you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to sit back and you're not supposed to be playing with your chances. You only get one. You know how hard it is to make it and be successful, to climb into the top 10% or 1%, and you out here playing? Come on, man. Get real about yourself. Get real about your life. Simple. And I hope that's a lesson to you youngsters. Because guess what? It's a lot of people that have had DUIs, they blowing through a breathalyzer and have to pay for that breathalyzer, probably for the next 6 months to a year or maybe even 2 years. Don't play with your life. Don't play with the situation when you're able to rise to the occasion, man. Get yourself some help. Get yourself situated, man. Don't play with your life, man. Yeah. I wanted to talk about this too, man. The Young Thug and YSL Rico's trial is a sham at this point. Has this case become a joke? I think so. This is the longest trial of where I've seen so much information being put into examination, and it just basically is turned into a media circus to where all of the nonsense and accusations and things like this at this point have prolonged this case to the point to where I don't even think that even the prosecution knows where they want to go with this, because to me, it just seems like they're scrambling all over the place. I mean, we already had one sign for time, Lucci, and he's been in here for going on 2 years, 3 years. At this point, man, they need to shut this case down and get it over with, because I believe that in this position of where he actually is in this YSL Rico case, I think that this was going to be used to propel her career into politics and to go into the higher government realms to be able to put herself in a position of power. And it failed miserably. But let me give you some game real quick. And I'm talking, and we just gonna have a real heart-to-heart conversation. Remember when I told you just lastly about putting yourself in a position of power? You can understand this about those political positions and those government positions. You are one of them, but you're not one of them. So guess what? When you get comfortable enough to start doing the bad shit, it's being watched. It's being watched and it's being calculated, and it's going to be put over there to the side when it's time to call when necessary. I want you to understand that at the end of the day, when this trial is over, there's not going to be nobody that stands accountable for anything because there's been so much drama and so much bullshit behind it. There's been so much evidence, YSL Woody and all this type of shit going around, running around. He's became famous off of snitching. He's become famous off of about a bunch of nonsense that they trying to claim and cross-examine that's supposed to be remotely true or circumstantially evident true. Come on, man. It's time to go ahead and end this. I hope that whatever comes out of this situation, even if both sides parties have to do time, I hope that they can get back to the music, solve this, create this whole different brand of what they're trying to do, a resurgence of their music, and they be able to continue to live their lives. Because at this point, man, it's so much going on every day with this trial, and it's being dragged and dragged and dragged and dragged and dragged. I'm really just sick of seeing it at this point because there's really nothing that they're presenting that's going to actually just in the evidence to make something be like, oh my goodness, this is a turn of events to make this trial be exactly what it was supposed to be in the first place. It was supposed to be something that was supposed to be cleaning up the crime and doing all of this type of stuff and locking up all these people with these organizations and RICO cases to make them as prime examples of what not to do. But this at this point is just a bunch of waste of fucking time. So free Lucci, free Thug. I hope they come home safe, man. And I hope they get back to the music and squash whatever bullshit that they got going on, man. Because you're talking about two guys that are in the positions of changing other people's lives. YSL Duke, YSL, all the whole gang. You know what I'm saying? I hope they come home, man, and I hope they get back to the music and leave the bullshit alone. Now, I want to talk about this, and I really, and it's probably going to be some how can I say it? Going to be some pushback behind it, but I feel like this has to be said, right? Sauce Walka made some controversial statements about Drake. Sauce Walka addresses the so-called love Drake had for the city, but calls into question the lack of artists that Drake hasn't worked with in the city. I want to say something about that. When he went on the Breakfast Club, I listened to the interview in its entirety, and I understood where Sauce Walka was coming from. And I understood where he was coming from because before this controversy happened, there was a lot of things that stuck out to me. And me being a Houston native and me understanding the politics and the music and how this shit works. And you can record this and you can put this up on your thing and make it go with it where it goes. What I noticed was before Cartel Boat got locked up, he had said something about us as far as the younger artists working with the old heads. And I think Cartel Boat was coming from a place of not just frustration, but from a place of concern because a lot of times within this Houston market, you already know who we are, who we resolve as the legends of the game. You know, the Lil Kikis, the Slim Thugs, the ESGs, and a lot of people that don't get mentioned, like K Reno, a G2, a Key, Devin the Dude, Big Mike, who's a Louisiana native, but you know what I'm saying, it was a part of the Ghetto Boys. They don't get that notoriety. But here's the kicker though. A lot of these youngsters want to work with the older artists. And I think Cartel Bo at the time when he spoke, he was coming from a place of this. Hey, we look up to y'all. We want y'all to be our mentors. The same thing that Gucci Man was doing with the Migos, Pee Wee Longway, Rich Homie Quan, Young Thug before they became what they were. That's what they was expecting to be within the city of Houston. And that's not a disrespect to nobody. But I'm going to say this, though. At the end of the day, I seen the responses after the fact. And yeah, he was frustrated, but I felt like, yeah, it could have been a conversation maybe had or whatever. But the guy took his own career in his own hands and wanted to make something. And what he wanted to do was connect with the OGs and get that stamp. A lot of these youngsters is looking for that stamp. Hot Boy, Skeeter, OTB, Fast Lane, all of these dudes who are prominent artists within the Houston area. I salute them boys, man. Them boys climbed up. Boston George, Fire Fajita, man. Listen, I listen to them all, and I feel like these are talented artists that that have promised to actually go out. Now, here's my thing, and this is me fast forwarding to Sauce Walka. Sauce Walka wasn't coming from a place of disrespect. He was just saying in general of what we've seen of his style being taken from Drake, his splash, his dance moves being taken and orchestrated and implemented into his own thing and never got the acknowledgement. He also spoke specifically talking about how he moves, and guess what? He said it plain. You don't have to do a feature with me, but what about these artists like Hot Boy Skeeter? What about these other artists that are talented within the city to even just to give them a look? Just a look. He's saying, look, even if we got to come out and figure out how we can run the numbers or do whatever, man, it's a good look for the city. And he says it actually brings a commerce and a light shed on certain parts of the city. You see what I'm saying? That one good look, that one stamp could actually put somebody in a position. You know what I'm saying? Just the same way that Gucci Man was doing and gathering all those artists, Lil Baby and countless others. I completely understood what Sauce Walka was saying. But I want to say this too. And this may be controversial and you may not like this, but I'm going to say this. And I stand on what I say because I personally don't give a fuck. What I see is a lot of times when the younger artists are making a name or a statement for themselves, I see a lot of the OGs actually undercut them and kind of distance themselves and pick and stick they stance in the sand and kind of like shy away from the young artists. I see that. And I feel like at the end of the day, man, just as strong as we had the fucking rap game back in the 2000s and we let it get away from us, that Atlanta's emergence was that. And I feel like at the end of the day, we should all be on one accord. There should not be the same thing that Pimp C was talking about us being able to grab the youngsters and being able to grab everybody else up. I understood what he was talking about. But it seemed like every time the youngsters want to make a statement, the OGs come out and kind of like put a check cashing window up on them in certain ways by making certain statements. You understand? I feel like at the end of the day, yes, you should have good music business relationships, but it shouldn't come at the cost if somebody's just saying something real. I don't give a fuck about no relationship with no artist. I never gave it. I'm not a fan of this shit like that. And the reason why I'm not a fan is because I'm not going to choose a side. I'm only going to choose what's right. And I understood what Sauce Walka was saying. It's a lot of these artists that look up to these and want a mentorship with them, but they don't. But they feel like they beneath them and they don't respect these little youngsters enough. But guess what though? Cartel Bo hit the ground running, million views. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I say, these statements are from frustration. These statements that I hear is because those are the politics that should be talked about behind closed doors. There should be a room with all the Slim Thugs, the Power Walls, and everybody else to get in these rooms and to have these conversations. Because at the end of the day, they looking at you. They looking at how legendary you became. They want that same thing. They want that same shit. You eating steak and lobster? Damn it, I want steak and lobster too, man. Malcolm X said it best. There was a time that you don't laugh and you don't shy away from certain people that didn't know anything because there was a time that you didn't know what you knew. So it's our responsibility that we cannot neglect. Because guess what? I appreciate any youngster that's actually trying to figure life out, especially through the music. I applaud any youngster that's coming up in the game right now. Absolutely, man. Look, I'm gonna put this with Black Men for Trump 2024. Kamala Harris is I'm gonna drop a bomb on that one, Nah, but all jokes aside, man, I felt Sauce Walka, man. Listen, Sauce, hey, man, you already know I'm a fan of you. I'm a fan of the OGs too. But I feel like with these type of politics coming to the front line, I believe that that should be talked about behind the scenes. I feel like that there's a conversation that should be had with Sauce Walka. I feel like there should be a conversation had with Slim Thug, also with Bun B as well. Because, like I said, I've seen this time and time again to where the OGs kind of undercut the youngsters and it kind of makes them stand on an island on their own. And I don't like that shit. I can say that. And I personally don't give a fuck. I say what I say and I stand on it. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. And if those politics can be changed behind closed doors, please let's sit there and let's close that shit. Because the city to me honestly is too much divided when I see that these youngsters is trying and they trying to get their careers off the ground, and there should be more of a unified level of outreach. There should be an olive branch extended. I don't watch Gucci Mane do it. That's why I respect the Gucci Mane so much. That's why he's so much in my playlist. Look at the artists that I named. The artists that I named was so real, you know what I'm saying, that they were able to become millionaires. They were able to become icons. The Migos are icons. Young Thug is an icon. Rich Homie Quan was an icon. Pee Wee Longway is a legend. OJ the Juice Man. Waka Flocka had one hell of a run for him not to even be a rapper. Who took chances, bro? That's the shit that we need within the city, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody in the H, man, that's in the rap game, man. I salute y'all, man, and I hope y'all make it, man, and I hope y'all don't stop. Y'all come to me, you definitely, you know what I'm saying, tap in with me. I want to see this thing grow. I want to see it grow just to surpass just Houston local town and stay in Texas. I want to see it surpass, go every which way. Shout out to him, man, for real, man. We got to get it together in the city, man. We definitely got to get it together in the city. Also, I want to say this too, man. I want to send a special shout out, man, to Beatking, man. Legendary Houston rapper Beatking dies at age 39. We pay tribute to a Houston music legend, man. I that one shook me up, man, because I just turned the big 40, you know, and you know, just seeing that happen, and seeing it, and like when I seen the screen, I just was like, nah, there's no way. And I'm still in disbelief and I'm still in shock to this day. And it just really just blew my head to the point where it's just like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Because somebody I knew personally that, you know, grew into be exactly what he is. And I said he's the down south Luke Skywalker, you know what I'm saying? He did his thing, you know what I'm saying? I can tell you a personal story about B King, which everybody calls him B King, but I call him Justin, and then he became Disgusting Justin. I remember when he was making beats way back in high school, and I heard his beats, and I mean, from where he evolved with the beats and where he was in the beginning, I always knew that B King was talented, man. And I'll never forget because we went to Booker T together, and we was at Houston Can. And one day we was sitting in the parking lot, and I'll never forget, I forget the color of the Taurus. And he was playing beats. It was all four of us in the car. And he said, man, listen. He said, man, I'm going to make it. And I'm going to definitely do my thing. I told him, I said, bro, I already know you're going to make it because your beat selection and how you orchestrate your music tones, man, you off the chain with it. I said, I know you're going to make it. And lo and behold, he started tearing up the charts. He started making, I'm talking about club bangers and whatnot, man. And he became what he became because he stayed at it. It took, man, just that timing. And I want to say this to you, anybody that's trying to do something, and this is real talk. Look at the Olympics, right? You got people that's training for 10 years, 15 years for one day. But people in this society want to train one day and get the results of 10 to 15 years. It doesn't work like that. Beat King started from the bottom and rose all the way to the top. And every t-shirt that man had on, man, had me chuckling and laughing throughout the days. And I remember the last time I seen him. And see, here's the thing. He was on all the club scenes. He would go to the most nicest clubs to the most hood clubs. And the last time I seen him was at Mr. A's hood night. And I seen him and he seen me. And I say, Justin, I say, boy, I say, man, and we had a side conversation. I said, did I not call it, bro? I said, I knew you was gonna do your thing, man. And it's just refreshing to see and just inspired me to go hard the way that I went hard. And I'm talking about, man, I'm just seeing him just walk in the club, just like he demanded that, just, you know what I mean? And Mr. A's just walking in, just his presence and his just positive and his just great energy being felt, man. I felt that. And I still feel that in my soul to this day, man. And it just makes me just think, man, like, man, I never would have thought that he was just climbing up. I mean, he's working with everybody and then be right here into this stopping point, man. It still fucks me up, man. But I still remember that moment of us just being able to see each other and me feeling like, dang, I've made it because he made it. Because we sat in that car and that vision was there and he stayed at it. He never stopped. So I have to give him some love, man. Real talk. I have to give him some love. Real talk. That's my boy, man. That's my boy, man. And from the bottom of my heart, man, Justin, man, I'm going to always have love and respect for you, man. Man, I love you, bro. And you know what I'm saying? You definitely going to be in my heart for the rest of my life, bro, because at the end of the day, when you made it, I made it. And that's one of the most valuable things that I could always remember. Before I shut my eyes on earth, the people that I knew and I was close with and had these conversations and talked with, they were successful in life. And that's all I could ever, a mother would want to ask, and his friends, that the people that really, truly care, that's all they wanted to see was a person be happy and be successful in what they do, man. For real, for real. Now, I'm just chilling. I'm getting back into the swing of things, man. I'm happy. I'm here. I put this show together at the end of the day because I just wanted to get my feet wet again. And you're going to see me within the city doing one-on-one interviews. If you get a chance, man, listen, like, subscribe, and share the program. We're going to be definitely having good guests on here. And if you want to chime in, like I say, by all means, the link is in the chat. You can come on. We always doing our thing. Shout out to Kenny, man, at the end of the day. That's my dog, for real, for real. Shout out to him. I'm always doing my thing. And I always try to take my time with these shows because, like I say, without y'all, the people, this would not be possible. But I just wanted to just get my feet wet tonight, man, and just chime in and rock with y'all and to let you know that I appreciate y'all. Much love, much respect. And at the end of the day, man, like I say, I do this for y'all, the people. And we definitely going to be having other guests and other things like that. And we got the merch too. So y'all going to see the merch on the shorts from now on, and you're going to start seeing me do shorts in the mornings and things like that and going live. So whatever subject that y'all want to talk about, man, just email me behind the scenes. Email me behind the scenes, and I'm going to leave this up so y'all can hit me on the contact. I'm going to go ahead and put that at the bottom of the chat so y'all can see it. Check this out. I'm going to go and put that at the bottom so y'all can see. Yep. And I'm gonna say this too. I got a couple of interviews coming up, man. You already know we did something special with the Hot Boy Dame interview, and guess what? We gonna come back. We finna get ready to do another one too. Check this out. We got Chef Nedra coming as well. Like I say, just hit me behind the scenes. We definitely gonna reach out to you or hit me in the email. You already see the email at the bottom of the screen. So y'all just tap in with me. And I wanted to say this too. If you ever want to become a moderator. If you want to be a moderator on the show, I'm gonna be looking for a moderator, at least 2 moderators, because we finna start pumping out just different interviews and stuff, on the spot interviews. So hit me behind the scenes right there at that bottom. I'm gonna definitely put everything together, and whatever you need as far as details or whatever, we gonna rock out. And you definitely gonna see me probably coming to a hood near you. It don't matter. Third Ward, Greens Point. I've already been to Greens Point. We're gonna take it to the South Side, South Park, South Lawn, Mo City. Shout out to them out there too as well. Pearland, Sugarland, it don't matter. The Woodlands, we going everywhere. So y'all tap in, y'all chime in. But I just want to tell y'all, man, I appreciate y'all, man. I didn't want to be too long tonight, man. I was about a good hour, and I just want to chime in on a few things. And like I said, if you want to hit me behind the scenes or go live or whatever, I'm here and I'm available, man. So until the next time, man, I appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart, and we definitely gonna yap about it. For real. One, y'all. We out.